Welcome to Empire Building. I'm Wendy Papazan, and together with my 4 co-hosts, we bring you weekly unfiltered conversations about leadership, growing a big empire, and living on your own terms.
I'm Kimber Leviman-Keaty. We are investors and wealth builders with over $75 million in combined net worth.
I'm Sarah Reynolds. We are visionaries who built more than 50 businesses with over $122 million in annual revenue.
I'm Tiffany Fikes. We've led thousands of people and do it all while being pretty good moms.
And I'm Seychelle Van Poole. We are your podcast to learn how to build big businesses and even bigger lives. Welcome back to Empire Building. I am here with my incredible co-host, Wendy Papazan.
Hello, hello, hello.
We have like a super weird topic for you guys for our Empire Building episode today, which I'm super pumped about because I love talking about weird things with you. And so to intro it off, Quinn last night asked for me to give you this weird update in our life. In the last 30 days in our household, 11 teeth have been removed from people and dogs and things. Yes. 11 teeth.
That's a lot of teeth. Okay.
It's so gross.
Walk me through all of that. Okay, so because it's not like there's a lot of people and animals and things in your household. There's not a household of 10.
1 kid, 1 dog, 2 adults. Like 11 teeth is a lot between us.
It's a lot.
I want to show you, I have all mine.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not me and it is not Nick.
Oh, whoa.
So Quinn
So Hitari.
and Hatari have been the biggest losers in this one.
Or winners.
Or winners. Quinn got her braces on and she's got 3 teeth that just would not leave. It was a party.
They had to pull them out.
They had to pull them. Well, I'm like, I get like queasy too. Like it's
all
so
at once.
Like I passed out when Nick got his wisdom teeth out. He did not. I did. Like it's not good. So I had to go get her picked up and they wanted to show me everything. And I was like, no, thank you. I was like, is everyone alive? Great. Perfect. I'm leaving. And so then yesterday, Atari had to go get a teeth cleaning. And I guess I'm like the worst dog mom ever because he hates having his teeth brushed. Who wants to have their teeth brushed? He had to have 8 teeth pulled.
Oh, what?
Ugh. So now he like went from like these big fangs.
I am
to, like,
judging
these
you a little bit.
I know. You should. You should totally judge me. Like I was like, oh, I am a terrible dog
That's
person.
a lot of teeth. I mean, how many teeth do dogs have?
He still has like 20 or something. He can eat. I was like, is he going to be able to eat?
How old is he now? He's not even that old.
He's 6.
Whoa.
Is that midlife?
Yikes.
I don't know.
Depends on the dog.
That's true. I think Charlie's going to live forever. So
Wow.
he's going to be much to Nick's chagrin, but yes.
That is a great fact. Well, I'm sure we have some listeners out there that are just completely grossed out and turning
are
this
welcome.
podcast off right now.
Don't turn it off because speaking of weird things, Wendy and I want to have a very weird conversation with you today about weird real estate markets.
Yes, weird real estate markets.
Because many of you are like in your weird time in your cycle
you're
of the
shifting.
real estate market.
Yeah,
You're shifting.
some of you are in a shift.
Your inventory's rising. And guess what? The 2 of us have been at this party for a while now.
Yeah, for years.
For years. And on top of that, we were at the party last time. So this is our second time through a really weird market, and we are here to help you through it today.
Yep. So we're going to talk about leading through a slower market and how to keep your energy and your team's energy high, even when you feel like transactions are down. So I know for me, we've been utilizing the Shift book for years now. And just when we thought things were starting to kind of come back, because Austin, for those of you that don't know, Austin, Texas market went bananas during COVID. So year over year, we were up 52%. So we saw prices skyrocket. And then by the time 2021 rolled around, prices started to decline because what goes up must come down. And yeah, so we just actually this month hit a 5-year low for prices in the Austin, Texas market. So it's been a slog for us. A lot of agents have left the industry here in Austin. So many joined during COVID. I mean, everybody and their brother was a realtor.
Which is kind of ironic because we also had so few houses selling that I was like, I mean, sure, come on in. There's only 3,500 houses available. Yeah, why not? Get your license.
Well, I think at one point we had 1,200. At our low, we were at 1,200 homes for sale.
How many people live in your metro area?
We're at 2.5 million now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was really low. And I think at that time we had 19,000 realtors. So that was like more than a 10-to-1 ratio for home sales. Now we're up at 13,000 homes for sale. So we've 10x that, which is great. Nobody wants to be in a market with 1,200 homes. That's really stressful. And honestly, we don't want those prices to go bananas. And so Austin,
affordability is out of control at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nuts.
And Austin's done what a lot of cities in America need to do, which is they've built a lot of homes. And so that's helped prices go down. That's helped affordability. And many of you are in markets where the inventory is really tight. And, I think Gary Keller said it, like you need to go and bang on the door of your city council and help more houses get made. Or maybe you need to become a developer, like me.
Yeah. I love that one. We have many of our Empire Circle members are female builders and developers, which is amazing. I think about Lily West. I think about Jewel Seeley. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So Dallas-Fort Worth, we have 7.2 million people now, which feels very large. When I moved back, we were at 3.5. So we've more than doubled in the last 20 years. At the bottom in February of 2022, we had 4,400 homes on the market for 7.2 million people. Today, we have 32,000 available houses. And our 10-year numbers as far as average sales prices, in January of 2026, our average sales price was $252, which is very affordable. And today it's $464.
That's for the metro area?
For the metro area.
Wow, that's higher than Austin.
Yeah, if you went to Dallas, it would be even higher. Like Dallas proper.
Yeah, Austin proper is a lot higher. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But for the metro area. So that includes Anna and Farmersville and Josephine and some of these areas that are way almost to Oklahoma.
Wow, that's shocking.
I know. And we're feeling it. It's unaffordable for many people, and our prices have leveled out since the beginning of 2023. And so if you've bought in the last couple of years, you're in a negative equity situation if you didn't put a lot of money down. And we can feel it.
That's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
So, So if you're a realtor, you're feeling it, right? You got agents on your team. I know for us, I've had agents on my team for quite a few years, and it's just, it kind of drags you down. 5 years
It's tiring.
Of declining prices.
Yeah.
It's kind of dragging you down. Last year, we did have a great year. We were number 1 in Austin for Real Trends.
Can we just take a minute and say awesome
Thank
on that?
you.
Congratulations. I know you just snuck that in, but that's huge. Congratulations.
It was a slog because we had so many deals falling through. We had 69 deals fall through last year, which is insane.
Woo, that's a lot.
Yeah. Not because of us, not because of my team, just because of there's a lot of market volatility and fear, a lot of fear. So I've worked really hard, I feel like, in the last 3 years to really motivate and encourage and help my team's spirits stay high in what could arguably be, I know it is harder than most of the other. Actually, Gary Gentry, my partner, has been in business for over 40 years, and he says it's the hardest market. It's even harder in Austin than it was in the recession.
Than the 80s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. So I'm by no means an expert, but we're here to talk about some tips and tricks and things you can do in order to motivate your team.
Here's the one thing I will tell you to encourage you as we kick off this episode is when the market is harder, you are needed more.
Mm-hmm.
Your skills, your brains, your knowledge, your expertise. And if you can surround yourself with people like Gary Gentry, I feel like you and I are now in dog years, very old in real estate years. Very young in life, but old in real estate years.
We're still gorgeous, though.
I was we're aging like you can't tell, right? I promise.
It's because of my Zoom filter. That's why.
Yeah. It's my laser facial girl. I'm in year 22. That's a lot of hours in real estate.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And if you can surround yourself with people that have lived before you, this market will feel exponentially easier. So the teeth aside from the beginning, we are here to share with you today some real tactical things to help you and your team thrive and do really, really well in this market because you are needed more now than you ever have been. And that's a huge gift that you get to have. And if you lean in and go for it, you're actually going to make more money and help more people than you ever have, which is really cool. Really, really cool.
What's the first thing you need to do? I think the first thing is you need to realize that you might have a problem. Okay. So I think sometimes as our teams grow, we become disengaged. The working with the people part can be the most difficult part of this job. And so what are some indicators maybe that the team is kind of eroding or the energy around the team is eroding? I think you've got agents who aren't showing up to meetings, right? They're checking out.
Mm-hmm.
You may not see them. They're maybe not showing up for the huddle, maybe not showing up for lead gen. You're just not hearing from them. They go quiet.
Yeah.
They go dark.
Or they're talking to each other instead of talking to you, which I think, and then not to say it's gossip, but they're looking like misery loves company. And so if they're having a hard time sometimes too, I found that they're then going, like if the culture's not aligned, right, or you're in like a funky problem situation, they're talking to each other about how hard things are and commiserating, and you don't know it. And all of a sudden, like a death spiral is occurring behind the scenes and you have no idea.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get in that mindset because, so much of sales is how your mind is. And it's so easy to think like, okay, here we are again. I'm too tired. There's a war in Iran, this and that, this and that, this and that. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, I don't even know why I'm going to,
What's the point?
why am I even an agent anyway?
Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. And I think it's also like something you and I both went through right before COVID was, distinguishing too between like, is this just low energy and we're tired? Or do we have a deeper problem of maybe we have like a cultural challenge going on within our sales team that is bigger than just the market? It is like there's actually a rift or a problem culturally with what we're building, and it's about to scrap itself and start all over again, which you and I both had.
And I will say it does feel very different this time, mainly because I just have, I have some great agents who are team players. And, the team player wants to succeed for the larger whole, right? So something about that has brought us together during these hard times where it's like a rallying cry, like, hey, let's do this together. And then I know when in 2019, when my team fell apart, I was ignoring all the signs. I just was so tired. I didn't want to deal with it.
I was afraid to deal with it. Yeah.
I was ignoring it. I remember, I have very, very clear memories of knowing in my mind, thinking in my mind I should do something, and I just didn't.
Yeah, I was too chicken. I was afraid of losing people.
Yeah.
And I acted out of fear, or actually I didn't act because of fear, I should say, of losing people because I genuinely cared about them, but I was too chicken as a leader to step in and do what needed to be done. Once your whole team falls apart, the fear of that happening goes away. Because it's already happened.
It's like falling down when you're skiing.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to fall, and so you go so slow, and then you just crash. Anyways. But yeah, I think you and I both went through within 6 months of each other, like your whole team falls apart, and you realize, well, the thing that I was most afraid of, I probably manifested myself anyways by not dealing with the real issues. And so we both became very different leaders because of that. Like I can say without question, I am a different person, different leader today. Hopefully a better one.
Me too.
Than I was then. And that was my DNA and the problem. But it also, I think you and I both got really intentional of attracting a different personality type this time around too, that we felt like we could lead better, which I think is good too.
Yeah, I agree. Better fit.
Yeah. And I think one mistake most leaders make, and when you pointed this out, and I think it's so good, is sometimes when we're in a hard market, leaders get really hardcore on activity.
Yes.
Like, what are the stats? What are the numbers? What are your sales?
Yeah.
What are your appointments? And they're forgetting the opportunity to really reset the motivation first and the meaning, because we all want to be working towards something greater. And when everything is really hard, just pummeling people on calls and dials and appointments and like contracts signed and all of that, it's what you want to do as a leader. I'll tell you right now, you want to. Like I had this thought 2 weeks ago, but that's not what's going to drive behavior. And so really getting back to like, why are we doing this? And for us, we're dealing with short sales. I had a surprise $53,000 deficiency a week and a half ago that a seller couldn't bring to the table because they have $200 to their name.
Wow.
The week before that, it was a $136,000 appraisal gap. You're dealing with hard, like hard stuff, short sales.
And it's hard because it's really out of your control. So many things are out of your control as a realtor. But yes, well, I love that, Seychelles. So really just leaning into not just the numbers, but like the people on your team. And I think, for us, that always starts with what are your personal finances, because starting with that number, helping everybody manage their personal expenses is what's going to keep them in the game. Real estate's a career. It's not a year. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, and it's going to be because of things totally outside of your control. And so looking at your personal finances, having one-on-one conversations with people on the team. How you doing? I know you've got this going on in your life. Maybe you bought a new house. Maybe you're having a kid. Not just their pipeline, but really like, how are you doing and how are you feeling? So having that authenticity and accountability conversations around finances is really going to be like the second thing that you need to do. So
yeah. No, I think that's fantastic. Well, and on those, like, this is where you cannot skip your one-to-ones, to your point.
Yeah.
And so the accountability as a leader you have to have is you cannot miss your like accountability meetings with your agents, but they feel different than they do when everyone's making a ton of money and it's an easier market and things are flying off the shelves. So the first thing as a leader you cannot do is skip your one-to-ones. And that was honestly, that's how my team fell apart last time, is that my director of sales and I would once a week, we'd get together and I'd say, I'm good, are you good? Okay, good. And then we'd go. We wouldn't have the real conversation. And you do that for 6 months. And then all of a sudden you've moved 1 degree apart from each other. And now you're looking at a completely opposite side of things. And so you cannot mail it in on those conversations. Something that's helped me, Wendy, on that is I say every single like accountability session I have with our agents, I say, okay, we are going to review pipeline and activity first, because if I don't do this, I will never come back to it. So I have to do this first with you. And then I want to hear about everything else. But we're going to take I do an hour every other week. And so we're going to sit down, we're going to review the entire pipeline, send it to me ahead of time. So I have questions prepared for you. And then after that, I want to hear about everything else, because it is important that you are having the personal side of that conversation. But for me, I'm not disciplined enough. If I try to do the pipeline at the end, I'll never get to it because we'll get caught up in the whole personal side. So I have to do that first on my side.
I love that. And, you can just say, tell me how you're doing, like how you're really doing.
Yeah.
That kind of question.
And I take notes. Make sure you're taking notes, like, so that you can circle back and be like, I know you're getting ready to take this vacation. Let's plan your pipeline before you head out of town. Or I know you're getting ready to have a baby, or I know your mom is sick, right? Like, you need to know those things and have them that you can go back and revisit them, because especially as your team grows, you don't want to miss those nuances of doing the check-ins.
Yep. And it's easy to do,
It is, for sure.
Well, and then I think the other thing that's important is you need to manage your own energy during a shift when things are down. And people listen to what you do, not what you say. So if you're talking about how tired you are and being negative about the market and not prioritizing yourself, which isn't to say like you're taking tons of vacations, because you're not.
You're working hard.
Yeah, you're working hard. But, what are you doing for your mindset? So many times I think it's like we're pouring into people all day long. And who's pouring into you? Like, what are you doing? Are you listening to podcasts that fill you up? Are you getting advice from somebody outside of your world? Do you have a coach? Like, what does that look like so that you can, so that your cup is full?
I also think too, I had to rework my schedule to have energy. And so I had to go, and like Wednesdays now are white space days for me, middle of the week. And so Mondays and Tuesdays are stacked heavier, and it's bam, 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 like all the team activity. But it's so I can eject on Wednesday and have breathing room.
That's so smart.
To recharge, to refill, to like work on the things that I know I want to or need to work on that I didn't have the time to do during the beginning of the week. And that has immensely increased my energy, my attitude, and my ability then to finish the week strong. So that doesn't mean that needs to be your schedule, but that's just taking a look at like, where is my schedule draining me and where do I need to be putting in time to recharge, I think is an important part of being an endurance leader.
I love that. And, you've only got what you've got. I feel very blessed. I started when my kids were very young. My kids were 3 and 5 when I started, and now they're 20 and 21 and about to have a 22-year-old, which is crazy. And so I'm just at a different stage with my time now. I just have a lot more free time. And I know there's so many young mamas out there listening to us.
Yeah.
Sometimes your self-care looks different than my self-care is. I've got tons of time now.
Honestly, I had 2 weeks ago, I just had to take a nap.
Yeah.
For an hour, 2 days during the week. I was like, I'm not even worried about lunch. I'm not caring about food. I just need an hour nap and I'm going to feel so much better. I mean, literally love on yourself so that you have the energy to love on your people.
Yeah. The other thing we've got to prioritize is you don't want to lose your A players to someone else because remember, they've always got options. I mean, I have super talented agents on my team and they've always got options. And I know that they field calls from other teams and other brokerages. And a slow market is when they consider what are my options out there. So you want to have proactive retention conversations. I do this every single year, which is, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's next for you? How can I help you grow? Are you happy where you're at? Right? What are you thinking your life is going to look like in 1, 3, and 5 years? And those kind of proactive conversations, like people just want to grow. You've got people on your team who want to grow. And so helping them figure out, and it's fine if they don't that year. You know what I mean? They might just be like, you know what? I do want to grow, but you know what? I'm really happy right here. I'm still learning and trying to figure everything out. But you having and initiating those conversations is really powerful.
I love that, Wendy. I think that's so good. And if we're lucky enough to be in business with people for a long time, you have a lot of longstanding players. I've got some players on our team over 20 years. If you're lucky enough to be, and I consider it luck, right? It's not like an evil stroke of genius. It's just luck. But if you're lucky enough to get to be in business with people that long, you are going to go through seasons. And so that's something I very openly talk about is like, what season of life are you in right now? And how can we best support you and love you through the season? I mean, in this year, we've had new marriages and babies and like new houses and
that's
cars
all growth
and all these things. But then we've also had like death and divorce and like, illness. And so it's like, if I try to really speak openly to our team about that, is like my job as a leader is to come walk alongside you in that process, both in the career development, but also in the personal side, because we do want to be in relationship with you for a long time. And that means that sometimes we have to have more grace for you in the hard seasons. And sometimes I'm going to ask you tough things when you're in the opportunity season to like help push you and make you grow.
I love that. And, it's not always just quote unquote work related. It could be
Exactly.
Hey, I know you've been thinking about buying your first investment property, or hey, I hear you want to invest in a business. Like I'd like to, I have a top agent on my team invested in a shipping business a couple years ago. And we had many, many deep conversations, the two of us, about what does that look like for him? What does he need to know? Like, I know it was invaluable for him, just taking that time. And so what are those things kind of like outside of real estate and it could be maybe you're helping them with their health, with their relationships, whatever that looks like. So,
or hormones or, all sorts of things.
Something. Yeah. All the things,
Totally.
Yeah.
If you're not in deep relationship with your people, Wendy said it best, right? This is an opportunity for a wedge to drive them to other people. So you just need to be aware that if you're not deeply in relationship and connected to their dreams, desires, and goals, there's a window.
Think about it like a marriage, not that you're married to your people, but you are dating them in a sense.
Yeah.
In that you are trying to deepen your relationship with the people on your team. And, if you are dating someone and you know nothing about them, nothing that's going on, you don't know their wins, you don't know their losses, like you're not really dating them.
Yeah. You're just grabbing a bevy at a coffee shop then and leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then let's talk about like building a culture that really can grow together. And what I think you need to understand if you are in a shifting market is that the big wins are actually a result of the small, tiny, incremental pieces. And so what you have to do let's just talk like, right, we're both in real estate. This is not necessarily only celebrating the closings and the contracts. You got to get back to like the daily little bitty wins. I mean, I even think about it like, if it's a personal side, right? Like, did I put my shoes on and get in the car to go to the gym?
Absolutely.
Not did I work out,
Yep.
but did I literally show up at the gym, right? It's the same thing with this. Like, did I call 5 people today that I haven't talked to? Did I like hold an open house and put out all my signs and do all my prep for it? Like, the little itty bitty things.
And you're rewarding the behavior, not the outcomes. And I think that's
right.
so hard because so many of us are outcome based. And, we moved to doing a monthly call day a couple years ago. It's been very successful for our team. We show up at 9:00. We take a little break after about 90 minutes and then we roll through till 1. And we have prizes and we have a scoreboard and it's just once a month, 4 hours. And whenever we're done, I post our numbers in Slack And I tag every single person that was there. And I just say, way to go, team. You showed up, you did the work, and everyone had a result. So I'm not saying like, oh, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great. Everyone was great because they showed up, they did the work, and there were results. And if you do that enough, your results are going to get better and better. I mean, success looks different than I think a lot of people think it is, which is just repeatable activities done over time and eventually get results from that. So celebrating that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think the other part too, that if you are surrounding yourself with people who've lived before you in these markets, it is really talking about the market.
Yes.
What happens next? How to see the signs, how to read the tea leaves, how to understand how to succeed in this market. And like, I know my team thinks I'm a super weirdo, but like when the market turns, I'm like, this is great. We can see it 90 days ahead of everybody else. This is fantastic. And they're all like, you're so weird. And I'm like, no, we can like get ahead. And so if you understand what to look at in the market, you actually are out the gate 90 days, 60 days ahead of the rest of your competition and having proactive conversations with your clients that then all of a sudden they're hearing the news talk about 30, 60, 90 days later. And so it's a huge gift that you can give them if you are helping to teach your people how to master this market and understand what they're seeing.
And it's very easy to put that into the structure of your team by just having, we do 2 times a week where we do role play. And we talk about what's going on in the market. What are the conversations you're having? How are you handling those conversations? What are you saying that's working? And so just 2 mornings a week before our daily huddle for 20 minutes at a time. We set aside time for that, for role playing, because we are in such a dynamic industry. So it's not like you can ever stop role playing.
No. Oh, it's always changing.
You can never stop.
Well, and like we're dealing with short sales now that look very different than short sales did in 2011 to 2012. Like, because all the banks now have fired all their short sale departments again. So we're back in like 2007 conversations of like, the banks are like, we don't do short sales. And we're like, you're about to. Let's be your first one. This is going to be fun together. Because they don't have a department anymore. They let all those people go.
Yeah.
So we're back at it again in teaching these banks how to handle things and teaching our people how to handle things too. So yeah. And an easy way to systemize the conversation part of that is we just have in our Slack channel, anytime somebody has a problem that they don't have an answer to yet, or they're running into something, they're like, this could be a problem for somebody else. We just throw it into one Slack channel so that we never run out of ideas to talk about.
I love it.
So
yeah.
That could be an easy way to solve that.
That's so smart. And then at the same time, you're kind of celebrating the mission, like everybody on your team. Even if you've got a part-time team member, a sign runner, or somebody that lives in another country that's working 10 hours a week for you, everybody needs to understand what they're working for. And it's your job as a leader to constantly reconnect them to the mission, because people want to be working for something. They don't want to just get up and do their job every day. They want to be working for something that's bigger than them. And, we recently had a client who bought a house right at the peak for $880 and sold recently with us for $550. Yeah. It was a rough sale. The clients had no choice
That's
but
hard.
to sell and move.
Yeah.
And, we did that for them, like helping everyone on the team understand, like, yeah, it's hard. And a lot of agents, a lot of teams don't have the skill, finesse, knowledge, whatever, even to get that much for their home. So just always reconnecting everybody back to what we do, because what we do is so important. We fulfill a basic human need, which is the need for shelter.
And shelter creates safety.
Yeah. And love and memories and all that, all those, warm and fuzzy things. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, if you are leading a team right now, Wendy and I both want to say very clearly to you that we see you and we see how hard you're working and that we know what you're building is going to be amazing. And it's worth it. And if you're listening to this today, reach out to us. We'd love to hear stories of success. We'd love to cheer you on and let you know that as a leader, we know it's hard right now. And your people are with you for a reason. And they believe in you and they see your greatness. And so taking some time for you to listen to this episode, take some notes, maybe tweak a couple things to build that energy back up is so worth it. Because your team loves you and we know that your clients do too. So go out there, you guys, and build that big business and that even bigger life.
Bye. Have a great week.
This podcast is for general informational purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions of the guest represent those of the guest and not Keller Williams Realty LLC and its affiliates, and should not be construed as financial, economic, legal, tax, or other advice. This podcast is provided without any warranty or guarantee of its accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or results from using the information.